Watch this.
It's Friday. You know what that means? It's time to end the week here on the 208. We'll start with this developing situation. A man in critical condition after a police chase ended in a shooting in Meridian on the interstate. As the investigation continues, we'll tell you what we know so far. The fall semester is right around the corner for Idaho students, and Nampa students are getting ready to get back to school. But how they get to school changed over the summer. School bus drivers are now learning new routes weeks before the school year begins. Will there be implications?
So to those who say it's too late, I reply that it's never too late to try.
An iconic Idaho politician known for preserving Idaho's wilderness and his work in foreign relations is being remembered 100 years after his birth. He's got a brand new exhibit for you to check out. A man is in critical condition this evening after a police chase that ended in a shooting last night. We now know that 3 CUNA deputies fired shots at this man. This is a developing situation that our Abby Wilt has followed throughout the day. Abby, what do we know at this point?
Joe, police say this man was involved in 2 separate pursuits, and after catching the suspect, police say he did not comply with officer commands, which led to an officer-involved shooting. Police say he left his vehicle with a gun and officers fired shots. He is now in critical condition, and the officers who shot him are on administrative duty. So let's break down what we know happened so far. It started at 6 p.m. Thursday night. Meridian police say officers were responding to calls about a fight near South Eagle Road and East Overland Road. When officers arrived, they say the suspect left in a white SUV on I-84. Pieces of police radio traffic gives us a glimpse into what happened after that.
Clear the air for a vehicle pursuit.
Meridian police initiated a pursuit at 6:16 p.m.
We've got heavy traffic. He's driving recklessly, opposite lanes of traffic.
At 6:22, police say they lost sight of the suspect near Columbia and Locust Grove.
I lost sight of him. We lost sight of him at the intersection.
This is where their radio traffic indicated it was the end of the first pursuit. That brings us to 6:37. CUNA police spotted the white SUV and initiated what would be the second pursuit. Officers say they were heading north on Meridian Road. During that time, police say the suspect called Ada County Dispatch and stated that he had a gun. An Ada County Sheriff's officer laid down spike strips on Meridian Road. Then CUNA police did a pit maneuver, stopping the suspect on westbound I-84 on-ramp, which is just off Meridian Road. Police tell us the suspect then got out of his vehicle with a gun in his hand. And after verbal commands, police say the suspect did not comply. 3 CUNA police officers then shot the suspect.
Gunshot victim, westbound 94.
Medics soon arrived on scene.
Code 4 for medics on arrival. Single bullet wound through the chest, out the back. Suspect is from breathing.
Then taking the suspect to the hospital in critical condition. We still do not know who the suspect is, and the Critical Incident Task Force is now starting an active investigation. The end of the pursuit and where the shots were fired were across the interstate from Roaring Springs Water Park, and the wave pool was evacuated at that time. Now I spoke with a man who was there at Roaring Springs last night, and I will bring you his story at 6.
And Abby, I know there's a community question out there about if this man that police shot, do we know at this point if he fired his gun at officers?
Joe, we do not know yet if he did fire his gun at officers. All we know is that he did have a gun, but it has not been confirmed if he shot it yet.
Okay, Abby Wilt, we'll hear more from you coming up on the news at 6, some perspective from the people at Roaring Springs. Let's get to some other news and notes from around our area. The start of school is less than 2 weeks away, and the Nampa School District, they're still looking at transportation changes for this school year. You may remember back in June, the district ended their 60-year relationship with the Brown Bus Company, and instead they've now contracted with the new transportation company called First Student. Nampa School District says that the change came after Brown Bus did not fully complete a bid and formally finish their paperwork this year, the way that the district requested they do so. So the school district says that they were left to choose the one responsive bid. That was from First Student. And the school district made the decision just 8 weeks before the start of school. a short amount of time for first student to find bus drivers and buses in time for that first day of school. And just this week, the Nampa School Board of Trustees approved where these new district-owned bus yards will be, and they also released the initial bus routes for the school year. There are some changes. Aspen Shumpert has more on what the changes will look like.
The first day of school is less than 2 weeks away, and new changes are rolling out for transportation in Nampa School District.
We will be saving approximately $1 million to $1.5 million per year.
With a new bus company, new bus routes, and a new district-owned bus yard.
We haven't had our own depot before, but having our own transportation staff there, as well as being able to control our own routes, that's another huge thing for us.
Tuesday, the board approved a lease for the property where the old Armour meatpacking plant used to be. It will soon be the location for the district's new bus yard. Sizemore says it's ideal because it's in an industrial area.
It's not going to bother neighbors. It has plenty of room for all the buses.
The property right now has no buses on it and still needs to be cleared.
Within the next 2 to 3 weeks, the hope is to start getting all the buses over there. We have most of them here in the area already. The last ones, to my knowledge, will be here by next week.
Sizemore says they've been keeping the buses on district property, mostly at South Middle School. All buses are air-conditioned and all under 2 years old. And they'll have enough drivers for the start of school, too.
First student is on track to have enough by the start of the school year. We are very close, and we're going to have buses ready to roll on day one to safely get our students to and from school every day. Wednesday, the district released this year's initial bus route plans. Because of the 4 schools closing within the district went through an entire reboundary process. So because of that, it's almost a start from scratch type situation when it comes to bus routes. So they're being completely redone. The routes are getting mixed reactions from parents online. We want to hear from parents. If they think an area is not safe, we want to know about that. Of course, we don't want kids waiting for too long outside or having to sit on the bus for too long. We want to make sure kids are as safe as possible.
Both buses and drivers will be ready to go for the first day of schools, but I want to share some of these initial reactions we saw on Facebook after Nampa posted their routes. Their post has close to 300 comments in just 2 days that it's been posted. So let's go through these. The first is from Kids Stuff Preschool at Nampa UMC, and they say, we have been able to provide before and after school programming to Lake Ridge students for over 10 years. With the new bus routes, we are no longer a stop for families. This will significantly impact their care, routine, and our ability to serve our community. With this news comes weeks before school starts with children already enrolled in our program. Another one, oh, it looks like my screen isn't moving. Let's see if I can get you another comment.
Aspen, I know that you're having some trouble there. There you go.
We're going to read some more. Thank you so much for making this school year extra complicated with limited routes and making sure my second grader can't even ride a bus. Doesn't seem like this is supposed to be better all around. More money for this bus company and not enough bus routes. Highly disappointed. Another one, horrible location, is the old slaughterhouse and the routes are limited, so parents enjoy not having the flexibility we once did. Now I need to figure out alternative ways to get 2 of my kids to school. Another person said, I have 4 kids going to 3 separate schools and there isn't a bus for any of them. We aren't within walking distance to any schools and it wouldn't be safe anyways. There's a few more and you can read those comments on Facebook, Joe. The district does tell me they're encouraging this type of feedback from the community so they can finalize and change any of the routes by the week prior to school starts.
Yeah, it's one of those things that as a school district, you really don't know what the reaction is going to be until you make those announcements. It'll be interesting to see if there are changes between now and the start of school. Aspen reporting here on the 208. Thank you so much. Well, some other interesting things going around the state of Idaho this past week. It marked 100 years since the birth of one of Idaho's greatest political figures and public servants, Senator Frank Church, a United States Senator from the late 1950s until 1981. Senator Church is known for his work on the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations. diving deep into major relationships abroad. Senator Church was also well known for investigations into America's intelligence agencies, the FBI, CIA, very bold endeavors, especially for that time. And if you're looking for something interesting to do this weekend, something cool and out of that smoky heat, there is a brand new exhibit now open at the Idaho State Museum that focuses on the life and legacy of Senator Frank Church. For our Viewpoint program, I sat down with members of the Frank Church Institute to talk about the man who may be the greatest Idaho politician ever. A man who, by the way, once had a real shot at getting on the presidential ticket. Take a look.
It's never too late to try, nor are the odds ever too great.
A new exhibit at Idaho's State Museum, an extended look at one of the greatest political figures to ever hail from Idaho. Sam Martin and Rod Grammer from the Frank Church Institute spoke on KTVB Viewpoint about the interactive new exhibit.
Invite citizens to think not just about Frank Church as a person or not just about what he stood for, what he did, but how his legacy continues to weave its way into the life of every Idahoan and, in fact, a lot of Americans. And so it's sort of an interactive exhibit that gives folks the chance to think about what Senator Church still means, given that he's not been with us for over 40 years.
The exhibit features a central theme of his career, one that made Senator Church unique. He was well-versed on a far-reaching range of topics.
Almost everyone has a different thing that jumps into their head first when they think of Frank Church. There's a lot of people hear the name Frank Church and they think wilderness. I have a shirt that I wear that says Frank Church Wilderness, right? Come to Idaho. And there's an opportunity to understand how that wilderness came together and to actually learn more about the collaboration that went into with Governor Cecil Anderson and things like that. Senator Church was a leading voice when it came to expanding social welfare programs and making sure that everyone, or that people who are of retirement age were going to have health care as well as Medicaid. So all these places, and that's what I mean when I say you can walk in here and you think you know something about Senator Church, but you can even be the endowed chair with his name at Boise State University and learn a lot just by walking through this exhibit, because he literally thought about so many American issues of his time, from, like I said, the war in Vietnam, which was at the beginning, or which was near the beginning of his tenure in the Senate, all the way through to the end when he was when he left office just as Reagan got elected. He just touched everything, and it's extraordinary.
The displays and artifacts also give special insight to a man thinking well beyond his time.
He always thought the biggest threat to the United States was not from without the country, but within the country. He naturally, by his own political philosophy, gravitated toward this investigation. The CIA had never, and the FBI had never had any oversight, ever, until the Church Committee. And when Cy Hirsch sort of unveiled for the New York Times some of these abuses, Church desperately wanted to be chair of that committee. Church was the senior senator, and only at that moment did Church know that Mansfield had picked him. But he really wanted this committee because he believed deeply that the threat was these kind of abuses by these intelligence agencies.
Whether you know about Senator Church or not, we had a fascinating conversation for Viewpoint, and you can join us for that full episode this Sunday morning at 9 a.m. It'll be on 7.2, Idaho's very own 24/7. We've got Olympic action all weekend on 7, so for any reason you do miss Viewpoint, you can always find it on the KTVB YouTube page. The 208 will be right back after a break.
her wins get her a medal, but her losses basically always push her forward. So she wins no matter what.
Caldwell native Alysa Mendoza fought her second Olympic fight earlier today against a Brazilian boxer. Unfortunately, Mendoza did lose the bout by split decision. But the community of Caldwell and the people from around the Treasure Valley, they showed their support this morning and really for the last several weeks for the boxer. And at the Indian Creek Steakhouse early today, they were packed again with more than 100 people there early in the morning to support Mendoza and her family. Caldwell City Council President Brad Dottie said that he could feel the excitement throughout the steakhouse.
Everybody's rooting for her, even though she's thousands of miles away, right? And we're just all behind her, and it's great to have someone from Idaho, especially from Caldwell, being our representative at the Olympics.
After the fight this morning, Mendoza's mom, Wendy, she felt nothing but pride for her daughter and all of her accomplishments.
This is boxing, and this is what Alysa basically has done forever, and she's going to keep fighting is what she's going to do. She can hold her head high. I am so proud of her. My nerves on this one was the most I think I've ever felt.
And Wendy tells us what we were all hoping to hear. Alysa will be back. We can't wait to hear from her when she returns stateside. Again, though, congratulations to Alysa Mendoza and all of Team Idaho for their great performances. Prosecutors in North Idaho are now seeking the death penalty for a prison escapee. And in other news, a winery in Idaho is picking up the pieces after a major wildfire. Here's Hunter Funk with the 411.
Today, the Nez Perce County prosecutor confirmed he is seeking the death penalty for Skylar Mead. Mead was booked into Nez Perce County Jail yesterday to face murder charges over the death of a Julietta man. Mead is accused of killing 83-year-old James Monty near Leland, Idaho, while on the run from police. The Idaho prisoner broke out of a hospital in Boise. In March, he led police on a 36-hour manhunt across the state. Mead and his alleged accomplice were indicted back in June on those murder charges. He's already been sentenced to life with 30 years fixed in an Ada County courtroom for that escape. We now know that at least 143 buildings were destroyed in the Gwen fire. It's still unknown how many of the buildings are homes. So far, the fire burned over 28,000 acres, and containment is now up to 85%. The fire was started by lightning just over 2 weeks ago. Right now, all evacuations remain at level 1. The Gwen fire swept through the area, taking with it homes and a local business. Coulter's Creek Winery announced this week the damage that they suffered was too great. One of the owners says they're closing down for good. Employees are looking for new work as the winery itself has to shut down.
There's no wine to sell. We'll sell what little we have left and try to generate enough to keep them funded for as long as possible. We've been down here digesting this for a few days. It's like we need to just slow down and take this day by day.
And today kicks off CUNA Days in CUNA. Tonight there will be live music, food vendors, and a movie night at the baseball field. Tomorrow there will be a parade, a kids carnival, a mullet catwalk, a pie eating contest, and more, followed by a fireworks show tomorrow night. That's the 411. I'm Hunter Funk.
Just an assortment of beautiful views there. And if you were going to take some of those pictures tonight, for example, it's absolutely scorching outside. So you'd probably be feeling the heat because we are expecting to break records for multiple places today as we continue on with this ongoing stretch of very hot weather. So all across Valley locations, we are in the triple-digit region. Twin Falls broke their record for the day. The previous one was 99, and we're getting close to that over in Boise and Ontario as well. So for right now, Ontario is falling short of their record, but we did break the record over in Boise, and McCall was a little bit closer to that record, a couple more degrees of warming, and we would expect to break that as well. So that's how hot it is outside. We are breaking records today, and we're expecting to stay in that territory for at least tomorrow. Just staying hot in the long term, but tomorrow looks to be especially hot as well. Another thing that we're tracking is the thunderstorm chances throughout the weekend. Those will start to ramp up in tomorrow afternoon into the evening and even overnight hours into early Sunday morning. So that's part of the reason why we have fire weather warnings in place. There are a few different ones, one for South Central Oregon, which will expire tonight, and then another one for Eastern Oregon and Western Idaho. That's for Saturday afternoon until Sunday morning. And because when we see these thunderstorms, the lightning could strike the ground and start new fires. Those storms could also have gusty winds associated with them, which would make the fires spread faster if any of them were to start. So what we're looking at with some of these storm chances, the clouds will start increasing later tonight, and then we're expecting some of that to start to enter the region, favoring Eastern Oregon and some of those central mountain spots. Because of the track of it, not all three Treasure Valley areas is going to be favored, but where those storms pop up, we could see wind gusts of up to 60 miles an hour, brief heavy rain at time, but that would be very localized. And then again, the lightning that I mentioned. So this would mainly be in the overnight hours if it happens in the Treasure Valley. Overnight hours of Saturday into Sunday, you can see a little bit of the hot temperatures hanging around as well as we continue this first alert weather stretch, but slightly cooler weather is on the way too.
All right, thank you, Sophia. Hey, let's take a look at the Olympics medal count. The United States of America remains in the lead with overall medals. They've earned 43. The host country, France, in second with 36 medals. And China, they lead with 13 gold medals in total. We will be back with your comments after the break. All right, it has been an Olympic-filled week, but we're going to get to some of your comments. A lot of you interested in talking about Frank Church. This person says, hashtag 208, Frank Church was a national treasure. He protected civil rights as well as wilderness area. Yes, Frank Church. He did a lot of great stuff. We'll go to our next comment here. This one from Deborah saying, Joe, just to remind you, Senator William Borah was a great Idaho politician too. Frank Church, well known, maybe not the greatest. I think that is a very fair point. The Lion, Senator Borah, by the way, he was the mentor for Frank Church. So Deborah, maybe you and I can sit down and debate this one at some point. All right, let's get to another comment here. This person, this is Kip. Kip says, Frank Church, a man of his times and ahead of his time. We need more men like him in today's Idaho and across the nation. He's a very proud part of Idaho history. Thank you for writing in, Kip. Yes, we love getting in your comments. We will get back to these, of course, next week. Just a little bit of an insight for you, of course, coming up tonight. We will have more of the Olympics in prime time right here on News Channel 7. And try to check out Viewpoint this weekend on 7.2, 9 a.m. on Sunday morning. If not, you can find it on the KTVB YouTube channel. Stay cool this weekend. We'll see you next week.